Guys, welcome to the show. Tony Katz today. We'll get to the cigar later. President Trump is scheduled to speak from the Oval. If he does, I will bring that to you. You've got the meeting between Trump and Putin tomorrow there in Anchorage. And of course, as always, just talk about being on the wrong side of everything. I've got all those stories. And the corruption of Hillary Clinton never ends. Never. You want your daughters to be like Hillary? You really want your daughters to be awful. Truly. I'm Tony Katz. The show is Tony Katz Today. Let the games begin.
National intelligence yesterday and released publicly just moments ago is an exchange of emails initiated by Michael S. Rogers, the four-star admiral, now retired, who headed the National Security Agency in the second Obama term. Rogers wrote to his boss, then Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, in late December of 2016 to say that he, the admiral, had just returned from overseas travel and had received an update on, quote, our efforts to produce a joint product related to Russian attribution and intent for the DNC DCCC hacks. I know that this activity is on a fast track, Rogers wrote, to put together a product that can be provided to the president. I asked my team if they'd had sufficient access to the underlying intelligence and sufficient time to review that intelligence. On both points, Rogers said, my team raised concerns.
That is James Rosen reporting. And what is he reporting on? What you already knew to be true, what you just now have more proof of. What was done by the Obama White House with Hillary Clinton in order to push the lie, the fraud that was Russian collusion and Russia. Tony Katz Today. Good to be with you. Find everything I do over at TonyKatz.com. Be great to have you over there. Be supportive over there. I was saying this earlier. If you have daughters and you want your daughters to grow up to be like Hillary Clinton, you hate your daughters. You want your daughters to be terrible people, un-American people who would lie, cheat, steal, do anything for power. There is nothing to be proud of about Hillary Clinton. There's nothing decent about Hillary Clinton. There's nothing good about her. She also has zero accomplishments in her entire life. Everything she has was given to her by a man. Everything. Yet she's a feminist icon. Embarrassing. What she did here. What they tried to do. No, what they did do to President Trump and to us. All being laid out in these documents that are being unclassified. Declassified is the right word. The revamping of the intelligence community assessment on Russian election meddling. Now, did the Russians try, and do they try to this day, to interfere with our elections? Yes. But trying and succeeding are two different things. Were we aware that the Russians would try to interfere? Yes. Was there any credible evidence that they did? No. And this is what the IC, the intelligence community, found. And what they decided was, nope, got to make it happen. Got to make it happen. And that's what they went about doing.
My folks aren't fully comfortable saying they've had enough time to review all of the intelligence to be absolutely confident in their assessments, he wrote. I'm not saying that we disagree substantively, but I do want to make sure that when we are asked in the future whether we can absolutely stand behind the paper, that we don't have any reason to hesitate because of the process. If the intent is to create an integrated product, Rogers said, that is CIA, FBI, NSA jointly authored, that we can all defend, we need a process that allows us all to be comfortable. And I'm concerned we are not there yet. If NSA is intended to be a co-author of this product, Rogers said also, I personally expect to see even the most sensitive evidence related to the conclusion. If your intent is to create a CIA-only or CIA FBI authored product, then Rogers concluded, I will stand down on these concerns. On that email, Admiral Rogers CC'd FBI Director James Comey, seen at screen left, and CIA Director John Brennan, seen at screen right, flanking the DNI, James Clapper, seated in the middle, for their joint congressional testimony 10 months before this email in February of 2016.
Let's hold it right there for a second there, Mr. Rosen. Let's talk about James Comey, because James Comey was very clear about a couple of things in this back and forth he had with Chuck Grassley of the Senate Judiciary Committee going back to January of 2017. He was asked about sharing information with the press.
Director Comey, have you ever been an anonymous source in news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
Never.
Question two on relatively related. Have you ever authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports about the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
No.
So he says no twice, that he was never a source and he never authorized anybody to be a source. But we know that he was feeding information to the New York Times. So Catherine Herridge points out that clip and says that's problematic for James Comey. Just like Hillary Clinton, completely un-American, you don't raise your sons to emulate James Comey. James Comey is not a role model. James Comey is not a man. Neither is James Clapper. Neither is John Brennan. These are not men you want to emulate and you want your sons to grow up to be. And you should say so. These are frauds. Un-American, anti-American, awful people. Words that I cannot use on radio, but oh, if I could use them on radio. These are the lowest of the low of the low. Back to James Rosen reporting at Newsmax.
Director Clapper took a little over 12 hours to reply to Admiral Rogers, and when he did, he addressed Brennan and Comey as well, suggesting they too, during those 12 hours, privately expressed views similar to those of Rogers. Clapper began, "Mike, John, Jim, understand your concern. It is essential that we, CIA, NSA, FBI, ODNI, be on the same page," Clapper wrote, "and we're all supportive of the report, in the highest tradition of that's our story and we're sticking to it."
Now, if you're not following, I can understand it. I'm throwing a lot at you. This is the key line. This is the story. James Clapper wrote to the National Security Advisor, NSA, the CIA, the FBI, ODNI, Office of Director of National Intelligence, to which James Clapper was in charge, and said, we have to be supportive of this story. That, quote, that's our story, and we're sticking to it. This right here, if you're watching the live stream, is the actual email. It's right here. This evening, CIA has provided, continues the email, to the NIC the complete draft generated by the ad hoc fusion cell. We will facilitate as much mutual transparency as possible as we complete the report, but more time is not negotiable. We may have to compromise our, quote, normal, unquote, modalities. Since we must do this on such a compressed schedule, this is one project that has to be a team sport. Taken as is, it is very clear and very obvious that the move to saddle President Trump with this so-called Russian collusion, to invent the stories about him and Russia engaging and meddling in the election, that this was not only demanded fealty, but absolute collusion. This is what, and it must be said this way, and any radio host, television host, podcaster, doesn't matter, doesn't say it this way, is doing it wrong. This is not what they did. This is not what they did to Trump. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what your government did to you. Cannot be discussed or described any other way with any other words. This lie, this fraud, this collusion, this meddling, this hate, this un-American activity, this is what your government, under Barack Obama, under Hillary Clinton, under James Clapper, under James Comey, under John Brennan. This is what your government did to you. I have made the argument that you should charge these people. I want to see them prosecuted. I want them found guilty. Got to innocent until proven guilty. I don't want a sham trial. Present all evidence. But if guilty, absolutely, I want the worst of the worst to happen to them. How is this not full-on treasonous activity? The trying to usurp the duly elected president of the United States, usurping the vote of the people. I get it. Democrats do that. Look what they did to all those who voted for Joe Biden. 14 million votes in a primary, and the Democratic Party said, nah, Kamala, there you go. Do I get a chance to vote for somebody? No, you don't. And if you mention it, you're a sexist and a racist. It's a twofer. Double. It's who they are. They hate you. They don't care about you. And they don't care about you if you're a Republican or a Democrat, if you're a conservative or a liberal, if you're a man or a woman, if you're gay or straight. They don't care about you. You are simply there to do what they want. They will lie. They will cheat. They will manipulate. This is what your government did to you. I will not accept any other language to this conversation. Can't. No one should. What comes next is a great question. What comes next? Remember, not only did the people do this, these people do this to you. This is what your government did to you. They're also the ones who immediately, when they saw Hunter Biden's laptop, they said, oh, Russian disinformation, Russian misinformation. And everybody who bought into this lie, bought into that lie, and prevented you from speaking, again, this is what your government did to you. Now, in that case, they were already out of power. Well, no, they weren't out of power, were they? No. This is what your government did to you. And maybe I should be more clear. Maybe we need more focus. This is what your government, in the hands of progressive Democrats, did to you and does to you and will do to you again. They hate you. They hate you, and they want you to know that they hate you. And they want to hurt you, and they want to harm you. And that is not hyperbole. That is not me being, the conservative Tony Katz. It is me taking a look at their actions and clearly understanding them and relaying that information to you. Can anyone deny what I have said? But Trump, no. Take your butt, Trumps, and shove them up your butt, Trump. I'm talking about what Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, James Clapper, James Comey, and John Brennan did to you, to your spouse, to your kids, to the country, to us, to we the people, what they did to us, not treating us like fellow citizens, treating us like subjects who can be so summarily abused. And they didn't do it once, they did it twice. Why in the world would you go back to the abusive lover? Oh, they've changed this time. They never change. I do believe that people change, but clearly the answer is not all people change. And right now there are progressives out there, there are liberal white women out there who want us to go back to the abuser. Nah, I'd rather punch back. That's just me. What can I say? This is what your government did to you. You now know it in every way. These people need to be tried. 10,000%, but I can't guarantee that's going to happen. And I can't guarantee that anybody's going to go to jail or be found guilty of the treason that they are guilty of. The only thing you can do usually is make sure these people and the people who they support never win an election again. They cannot have power. They will lie to you again. They will attack you again. They will vilify you again. They will do harm to you and your kids again, guaranteed. But in this case, there's a part two. Anytime anybody tells you that Hillary Clinton is a role model, tell them to shut up. They don't know anything about what it is to be a strong woman. Hillary Clinton is a fraud. She may be a good grandma, Chelsea. I'm not going to tell you no. That's your mom. But for the rest of us, your mom's disgusting. For you, I leave it be. Walk away from the whole thing. But I'm not going to be told that somehow she's some hero for America. I wouldn't raise a daughter to be like her, and I wouldn't raise a son to spend time with a woman like her. No one should. Barack Obama is some great American story. Barack Obama should be a great American story. Instead, he gets to the White House and tries to burn it all down. James Clapper, John Brennan, James Comey, these aren't men. These aren't men. These are sniveling lowlife cowards. Garbage men. Nope, sorry. Garbage men work for a living. Sniveling lowlife cowards that you don't raise your sons to be like. Say that to your kids. Show them what this evil is and how you should never be like that. And how when you see people like this, you have to ensure they never get power. And if you've got some cousin, some aunt, some uncle, some lefty who's going to come to Thanksgiving dinner and try and tell you about Hillary Clinton, shut them down and shut them up. No more sitting there and taking the abuse. No. Or don't invite them, which is also fine. Enjoy your turkey without any crazy people. No. It's time these people know how It's time these people know how terrible they really, truly are. Don't stop saying so, because they're worse than you know. I'm Tony Katz, and this is Tony Katz Today. I got some. Who's this guy on social media? Carter. What a blanking idiotic take about Hillary Clinton. She isn't perfect, but she graduated from law school with honors. She became a senator from New York, and she served in a presidential administration, all the while being smeared by the worst hypocrites in history, accusing her of murdering people. Blank you. I never accused her of murdering anybody. But she's disgusting, and one should not think that she provides any value whatsoever. She never did anything that a man didn't give her, and she's a liar and a fraud. Un-American. To hell with her, to hell with her supporters. And if this absolute tool on social media wants to support her, well, screw him. I don't care. That's fantastic. She went to law school. Terrific. I, for one, am sold. Producer Landon's like, who starts an argument like that? What are you talking about? The guy's a moron. What do you want from me? Doesn't even matter. Hold on. Who's this fool? Okay. Russia wanted Trump to win. I don't know who you are, another wonderful secret, but this is just, you've got nothing. We're proving the point. None of this matters. Russians wanted Trump to win. Was there any involvement? And the answer is no. It got manufactured, though, by the left. Stop defending the indefensible. I didn't say you had to like Trump, but holy heck. Get a hold of yourself, you freak. This is the Christoph vengeance right here. Look at that perfecto. Look at that beauty. Oh, that is lovely as a mother right there. That's fun stuff. All right, let's do some more radio. So Trump and Putin set to meet, and this was, if you go to TonyKatz.com, if you're there, you get the show sheet every day. And so I put it in the show sheet. Tony Katz today. This was a really weird take. This is the Wall Street Journal. Trump agrees on Ukraine red lines with Europe before the Putin summit. This is about whether or not Trump would negotiate land for peace in a deal with Trump, with Putin trying to get him to agree to a ceasefire. I don't know where anybody thought that was going to be part of the conversation regarding Trump. That's something that Putin and Zelensky are going to have to agree to. But I don't know how it's going to happen without that agreement. People have been wondering who's got the upper hand, or Trump, or is it Putin? Is it this one, that one? Everyone wants to be political about it as a matter of just sheer objectivity. Putin looks at the situation and says, NATO nor America as itself are going to put 25,000 troops into the eastern part of Ukraine, stopping us. So we're going to continue this trench warfare with them, which is really what it is. I mean, this is World War I ugly stuff. We're going to keep piling up bodies, and eventually they're going to run out of bodies. That's the Russian take. And nobody has shown anything resembling a willingness to be like, no, seriously, we'll put our own people on there. Let's see what you do. That would change the equation in a large measure. This is not me favoring it. I don't favor that. I am saying that it isn't going to happen. And why would then Putin give up anything, make any deal that doesn't involve land? Land is what he wants. Land is it. So I'm not sure what agreeing to anything means. Trump has also said there are going to be very severe consequences if Putin doesn't agree to a ceasefire. Putin's already understanding that he doesn't care, but Trump has to do something. Trump wants the win here. Trump wants the ceasefire deal. I get it. And no, I don't think Trump is going to get played. That whole nonsense thing is just too silly for words. I wouldn't trust Putin at all. All this said, why agree to anything the Europeans have to say? It's Trump who's going to the meeting. Don't worry about the Europeans at all. See what the deal is, and then see if you can make it work. I'm Tony Katz. The whole land thing was very odd to me. Very, very strange to me. It seems very, we're in the strong position here. You're not in a strong position unless you're willing to put 25,000 troops on the ground. And I don't know, maybe it's 125,000. Maybe I'm wrong in terms of the number. But I'm not wrong in terms of the concept. So I get that this looks like a torpedo. This is not a torpedo. So this, it would be a perfecto, right? That's the way I would describe this cigar. Now, if I have it right, a figurado would be any different shaped cigar. A perfecto starts at a point at the cap end where you smoke from ends at a point, the foot where you light from. So this becomes a perfecto. A torpedo shape would come to the point here, or really come to a more not a full point, but more rounded kind of point, but would still be the regular shape and the same size ring gauge all the way to the foot. So that would be a torpedo right there. But this would be a perfecto cigar. I happen to, outside of a box press, I love that shape. Absolutely love that shape of a perfecto, right? So they would say that a perfecto is a closed foot, right? So there's not even an opening there, and then it would burn up and then bulge out and then come back in. So this could be 6 of one, half a dozen of the others. It could be seen as a perfecto. It could be seen as a figurado. I would let other people make that decision. Yes. I saw that. I saw that tweet. I already deleted the dude. You don't sell your wares here. Don't do it. If you want to sell things here, become a sponsor. Become a sponsor of the show, and then you can sell away. What's the punishment for treason, Tyler? I think you know. I'm pretty positive that you know right there. Let's see what else is going down. Oh, this guy's still yelling at me. What a hoot. 30. I'll say anything about Hillary Clinton anytime I want. Facts are the facts. Data is data. Thank you. I'm a fan of this shirt. We'll be getting these as we build out some things for the website, getting things out there and making them available, and it'll be awesome. Have you gotten your tickets? August 23rd, myself, Nick Searcy, from Hollywood to the Heartland. The bourbon, the cigars, the barbecue. Stories of January 6th. You know, he did 2 documentaries he made on January 6th. He's got stories out of DC that'll make you crazy. Stories from Hollywood. We both now live in the Midwest. Come join us. Tickets.tonykatz.com. Tickets.tonykatz.com. Get it done. For some people who live in Indiana, I will work on the Diego shirt. I will work. Oh, because I'm talking about Hillary, I have to say quickly that I'm not suicidal. No, I'm not. No, I am not. All right, let's get back to the show. It is weird to watch the left be upset that Trump is doing something about crime in DC. You have members of the DC Council saying, what is everybody talking about? There are no problems here.
President Trump just a little while ago said crime here in Washington, D.C. is, quote, totally out of control. His words, I'm quoting once again, worse than ever. What's your response to that?
Well, we need to be able to call out the lie where it is. And that's just simply not true. He continues to say it, but it is not true. He's painted this dystopian vision, and it just doesn't track with the facts on the ground. Over the last 2 years, we have driven crime down by about 50% of violent crime. Now, listen, everybody will be the first to say any crime is one too many. And so we still have work to do. We still have progress. But that happens best with the coordination between the mayor, the council, the community, MPD, because that's what's gained and had the gains over the last several years. The federal law enforcement aspect, putting military members on the streets of our city, does not make us safer.
That's not what the people think. The arrests have been going. They have found people are here illegally. And no one buys into this story that DC was just doing great. No one buys into this in Chicago, Los Angeles, or San Francisco, or in Tulsa, or Detroit, or St. Louis, or Peoria, or Indianapolis. No one buys into it in Baton Rouge. We see an issue in a tremendous number of places. We want to do something about it. And we want the mayors to do something about it and the prosecutors to do something about it. But we see prosecutors in many places not doing anything about it. We see mayors so trying desperately to show how woke they are, they won't work on the crime. You see this everywhere. And yes, in DC. And Muriel Bowser, the mayor, is playing this weird kind of love-hate relationship with Trump. We appreciate the more officers, but we didn't ask for this. And we want to be good partners with the federal government, but they're overreaching. It's very, very weird. It's weird when you have Chuck Schumer saying, well, everything's fine and Republicans are full of it.
I walk around all the time. I wake up early in the morning sometimes and take a nice walk as the sun is rising around some of the Capitol and the other monuments and things, and I feel perfectly safe. They're full of it.
He feels perfectly safe, ladies and gentlemen. Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, and his security detail, they feel perfectly safe. What, he doesn't have a security detail? Come on. So disconnected from reality. And I will get into that about what that means and why it is they continue to lose elections, that disconnect. But if indeed everything's fine, and remember, the press is as guilty of saying this as the political left. It was Martha Raddatz that said to J.D. Vance, you keep talking about gangs taking over apartment complexes. The governor of Colorado said it was only a handful of apartment complexes. Tren de Aragua, Venezuelan gang, only in a handful of apartment complexes. I mean, that's just great. By the way, the way I said that was absolutely very Fred Garvin.
Garvin, male prostitute.
I don't know why I love that so much. That's one of my all-time favorites right there. If everything is cool and everything is fine and crime is trending down, then there are no issues. If that is the case, then I would ask this question. Why has Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced an emergency declaration in Rio Arriba County? First of all, but Michelle Lujan Grisham is a progressive. She's the governor of New Mexico. And she has declared a state of emergency in this county, which includes 2 Native American Pueblo communities. They stretch to the Colorado state line. The highest opioid overdose death rates in the country. She's declared an emergency. Now, let's discuss everything that Governor Grisham would be called if she was a Republican, declaring an emergency in a county with 2 Pueblo communities. How many ways could we call her a racist? If she was a Republican, how many ways would the progressive left call her a racist? How many ways would the media call her racist? Oh, sure. For the Native American communities, you're declaring an emergency. My gosh, this is so despicable and disgusting. And actually a unique amount of braveness going on here. Really something else happening here. Being able to say we've got an issue and we need to change the way we handle the thing. Grisham saying that local leaders are asking for help. They're overwhelmed. The local resources are simply not enough. The emergency declaration makes $750,000 available to Homeland Security and emergency management to coordinate response efforts and provide resources. Now, we all should understand at this stage of the game that it's more than about money. It's about willpower. You have to be willing to make changes. You have to be willing to engage arrests, willing to engage prosecutions, willing to put a stop to things. A Democrat making this decision, that's a little bit of bravery. Because what this does is it now leads to a conversation of, well, I guess Trump's right. I guess there's a real crime issue. Everybody pointing to statistics. Look at the statistics. It's down, it's down, it's down, right? Doesn't change reality. If crime is down 5%, I say that's fantastic. Terrific. Super. But it does not at all change the fact there's still a tremendous amount of crime. I like seeing numbers go down. We discussed this with New York. It doesn't mean New York is good. It doesn't mean New York is safe. It doesn't mean that you're safe walking down the streets. I did not grow up in New York. I grew up in the shadow of New York in New Jersey. I spent enough time there. More than a lot, not as much as others. There was one moment, one. Wasn't on a subway. I think we were in the Village. My wife will remember. She'll tell me where we were. And I do believe we were married at the time. And we were walking down the street, and I heard a gunshot. And to this day, I would swear on a stack of Bibles that it was a gunshot. I threw my wife to the ground and I jumped on top of her. It was a car backfiring. She didn't know what I was doing. I don't think she knew what I was doing. I still think she might think I'm a little nuts from that moment. In my head, that was a gun. Until my last trip there, that was the only time I ever felt questionable in New York. Drove in by myself plenty. Didn't worry about where I parked my car. I did not. I didn't consider it. Now, maybe in my younger days, it was pure naivete. What bad thing could happen? Walking down the street without a care in the world. I have walked down enough New York streets smoking a cigar. No one's ever even given me a bad look. Usually, I have smoked cigars, Herald Square, and people saying to me, oh, that smells great. Like, no issue, zero issues. I didn't feel that way on my last trip, which admittedly was pre-COVID. And there's like a big radio conference going on next month. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make that one. I think I'm going to stay here if that's all right. I'm not going to go there. I mean, things could change, but I like it being in New York was like, But I have promised myself that if Zoran Mamdani wins, if the communist wins, I'm taking my wife. We'll take every precaution. We have 3 or 4 places we have to hit because we know this will be the last time we ever get to go. You say, I know. That's a bit of hyperbole. I get it. It's that I have no faith in that the city will be even remotely what it was. A couple of restaurants to hit, a couple museums to hit, and we're out. Like one last turn. Place ain't safe. Just watch the videos. Just listen to the news. Just check it out. But this thing from the New Mexico governor, this is something else. It's the admission of a problem, and we aren't able yet to fix the problem, so we need to put more to it. So is the Democrat progressive governor of New Mexico now willing to work with this White House that notices when crime is out of control? And by the way, Americans notice when crime is out of control and when there's a lot of violence, when things are dangerous, to get the help. Is she willing to say that what we have put in place isn't working? Let's do something else. And it was New Mexico Republicans saying, I am pleased that the governor is addressing the out of control crime in our community. It has long been overrun and not addressed. Fentanyl has overwhelmed our law enforcement, and this seems to be a step in the right direction for protecting our citizens. We should be applauding people who do these things that are like, we've got an issue, we've got to fix it. And we should be disgusted with people who want to pretend that there's no problem and everything's fine, which was what makes what Governor Grisham did here all the more brave, because she's going to get vilified by progressives who refuse to recognize what's right in front of them. I'm Tony Katz, and this is Tony Katz Today. Welcome back. Tony Katz Today. I feel like I got a little sidetracked there, which happens from time to time. And I've truly decided I don't think I care. It's the only way I can think of saying that. But it's true. Like, what Grisham did there is going to get her vilified by the left. But reality is what it is. And she is going to get roasted for it, which is the craziest stuff in the world. You've got questions, I've got answers. Let's see where we are. What do we got going on? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the music. I'm glad you like the whole music. That was a little bit of salsa love right there. That's all that was. Have you been following the red heifer sacrifice during this past July? Okay. You have 5 seconds to explain yourself before I block you from ever coming back here again. Red heifer sacrifice? What? I don't. Is that a South Park joke? Okay. Well, if it's South Park, I'll allow it. So let me see. So Trump is scheduled, or was scheduled, let's see where we are, to speak at 1:00. Oh, he still is. Oh, he still is. Honestly, I'm just gonna turn it on and just let it loose. That's the whole plan. That is the whole plan right there. All right. We're coming back. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Coming back to the show.
You're seeing people who claim to sympathize with the children in Gaza, but at the same time, they love the United States and they love the democratic process and they love this country. You see figures telling people they love the United States. Be proud that you're a Yemeni American. Be proud that you're a Philistini American. And at the same time, they are speaking for the people of Gaza. How do you do that? How does anyone with a sane mind talk like that? This needs to be cleared from the hearts of the Ummah. And that when they teach you about having pride in that flag, you take that flag down and put it as a mat in your house.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is today from the Islamists. Can't actually like America. You can't like America and somehow not be in favor of the destruction of Israel and therefore the United States. And you should use the American flag as a mat in your house, like a doormat. So just a reminder of some things are incompatible with the way that you live. The Islamist is incompatible with the way that you live. Speaking of things that are incompatible, CNN and Scott Jennings. I mean, he's the only reason to watch. But I'm telling you, stuff like this, eventually CNN can't take it. They made their decision. They want to still be the progressive network. I've begged to help them. I'm telling you right now. I've said it. I mean it. Jim Acosta would not take the midnight to 2 a.m. show. I will, with everything else I do, I will take that show right now. I will take midnight to 2 a.m. Eastern. I will get better ratings than anything you have in prime time, CNN. And I'll do it for half the money. Right now, I'm in. You're in, I'm in. Let's do this thing. But dear Lord, Scott Jennings and this Julie Roginski, Democratic strategist.
Maybe it would help to extend it a little bit.
I guess I'm old enough, Scott, to remember when you were appalled, as the rest of us were, on January 6th, when he wouldn't.
Because January 6th happened. Should we not enforce the law today?
Excuse me.
Do you want murders today?
Let me finish, Scott. I know
January 6th equals no enforcement
Scott, I know you hate talking about
this is a silly argument.
No, let me finish before you make a point about a silly argument.
It'll be silly, but go ahead.
No, what's silly is you sitting down with Mitch McConnell over Chick-fil-A and lamenting how Donald Trump was putting all of you, including Mitch McConnell, in harm's way. But I guess now you're so...
I wasn't in harm's way. I was in Louisville.
No, your then boss, your friend Mitch McConnell certainly was. But, now...
January 6th was a bad day.
Can I finish?
Murders are also bad.
Can I finish?
I want murders solved.
Can I finish?
Just let her finish.
Scott's going to...
Well, if she wants to come out here and take pot shots at me, I'm not going to allow it. It's a stupid argument. I'm not going to allow it.
Scott, just let her finish. I don't even know that we've even heard the argument.
No, we heard it. We heard everything.
That you were denying. So go ahead,
Scott, I know you're thirsty for that Senate seat, but let me finish. What I'm going to say...
Again, you allow this every night.
Just give me 1 second here. Let's just let her finish, please.
Okay.
Just one
Listen,
second.
I know you've got the picking thing going on, but here's what I'm going to say.
What are you thirsty for? Some kind of relevance out here?
No, well...
I know, it's brutal. He's the only reason to watch the show. But he said something that we've been saying, and I wonder if he is listened. The host allows this show to take place. The host wants this when it could be so much better. CNN, I'm right here, boo. This is Tony Katz today. Just want to help. That's all. That's all we want to do, kitten. Just help. Here's what's going on, my good people. So we've got Trump, who is scheduled to speak at 1:00. I very much doubt that he's going to go early. This is the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Act. That's what he'll be chatting about. So I'm going to bring it to you. He's not talking yet. The program will begin shortly. Look, I'll even show you. Boom. Look, the program will begin shortly. Right there. So we'll take the break. We'll come back to it. And then, you know what? I mean, he's going to talk about Social Security. He's going to be on a roll, and we're going to watch. I'm going to smoke this cigar. Smoke them if you got them. Drink them if you got them. It's going to be good. All right? We'll hang out for the next hour. It'll be fantastic. Tell your friends to join us. Be here every Monday through Friday at noon. I know there are other radio hosts and other things doing things at this time, but honestly, we're much more fun. I don't know if that's true either, but I'd like to think so. They're all lovely people. I don't even know how many people do it. Well, I know some, but not all. I don't know if they all live stream. Neither here nor there. I'm glad you're here. How about that? We'll just leave it at that. Do tell your friends. Hang loose, kick back, relax, smoke them if you got them. We'll be back in a little bit. We're here for the radio break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hang loose. Welcome back, everybody. Tony Katz today. They're running right now some yesterday video of Hakeem Jeffries over there at C-SPAN. President Trump scheduled to speak. When that happens, I will bring that to you. There it is. Oh, wait. Say that again? Okay. Sorry. Trying to do two things at once. That can't be good. Look forward to bringing that to you. Oh my. Interesting. Okay. Oh, Lord. I made a mistake. This is going to cost me some time. Let me take this. Let me do this. Let's do this over here. And that's all right. And that's all right. So let me go back to this. So we're just waiting on the president to begin. And when he does, I will bring that to you. We've got a lot more to go over. Nope, that's not right. That's not right. Oh, this is going to be very annoying. Okay, don't know what to do there. So we'll figure this out. All right, back to it. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Didn't mean to, but sometimes I'm trying to do two things at once, and I shouldn't do that. Anyway, I'm Tony Katz. The show is Tony Katz today. Let's go to work. I'm betting on an hour and a half. Although I'm not going to be able to handle an hour and a half. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. What's my bet? How long this Donald Trump press conference is going to go on for? That's an hour and a half. He's speaking, I believe it's going to be from the Oval. And this is the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Act. I don't think he's going to announce some wholesale change that I could very well be in favor of. I just don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think that we're going to hear him make some grand pronouncement regarding Social Security. I just cannot visualize that taking place. But it's going to be questions. It's going to be conversations about DC, conversations about safety and security, all of it. All of that is coming. And so I'm waiting for that to happen. Hopefully, it was scheduled to take place now. Hopefully, he's not too late to this conversation. I came across not one, but two stories that made me say, what exactly am I looking at here? The first one was a story from Life News that this conversation is still going on, right? So this is a pro-life website, and I get things from everybody. I get news from all over the place. It was Little Sisters of the Poor versus Pennsylvania. Supreme Court, 2020, upholding a federal rule protecting the Little Sisters and other religious groups from a contraceptive mandate. Oh, you offer insurance, you have to offer contraceptive abortion coverage. They would call it abortion care because they're gross, etc. Right? Pennsylvania, New Jersey want to fight this. So a nationwide ruling against this rule, a federal court in Philadelphia sides with Pennsylvania, sides with New Jersey, and they want to force the Little Sisters of the Poor, Catholic nuns who care for the elderly, to provide abortion and contraceptives in their health care plan or pay fines. How much do you hate these people? You've got the Department of Health and Human Services issuing a federal mandate as part of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, requiring employers to provide contraceptives like the week after pill in health insurance plans. The mandate exempted plans covering tens of millions of people for administrative convenience and grandfathering, but provided no religious exemptions for groups like Little Sisters of the Poor. They won in 2016, a new rule in 2017. Pennsylvania and New Jersey want to take that away. You know that at some moment, it's not about women's reproductive anything. It's about a fetish. The idea that you need the Little Sisters of the Poor, and I don't know much about the organization, any group, any religious group, to pay for abortion coverage, that's just super weird. That is super weird. I can tell you that cigars and bourbon and steak bring down my stress levels, and I believe that my insurance provider should cover all those things. I should be able to have a cigar, a bourbon, and a steak a day. By the way, I'm smoking the Christoph Vengeance right now, an absolutely beautiful Perfecto. Nice cigar. Not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's a good cigar. Everything Christoph has done in the last years has been so leaps and bounds over where they were. Is to be believed. I think the Tres Compadres is just wonderful. I think this is a really, really good cigar. Check it out for yourself. Kristoff. Christoph. I'm on the live stream right now, smoking away. Just go to YouTube, Tony Katz, or Twitter X, Tony Katz, or Facebook, Tony Katz Radio, and you can be a part of the show. And that's, for me, what is going to help my blood pressure. A bourbon a day, a cigar a day, and a steak a day. Can we just throw that in there? Why do you want them to pay for abortion coverage? If you tell me that in a quote-unquote healthcare plan that is not religious in nature or for a religious group, well, I still don't get it because abortion is not healthcare. Now, someone's going to say to me, Tony, what if the life of the, well, that would be something that falls in a completely different category, an abortion or not. But the idea of abortion is something that should be covered, and how dare you not cover it, is fetish. And so New Jersey and Pennsylvania doing this is just flat out wrong. And then I find a second story. The second story is, and here is the headline. The headline, sometimes you find a bad headline. Sometimes you find an awful headline. Sometimes you find the very worst headline. Oh, hell.
Your car's seatbelt, safety miracle or decapitation nightmare?
What is the connection between rain and farming? The answer may surprise you.
Heroin, sex, machine guns, flamethrowers, murder. There's no story here. We've just found that ratings go up when we say those words.
It's time for the worst headline of the day.
Virginia governor orders probe into school funding minors' abortions without parental okay. What? This is an actual headline in the Washington Times. I have no capacity to make this up. None. Virginia governor orders probe into school funding minors' abortions without parental okay. The story is as follows. Glenn Youngkin, the governor, Virginia State Police are investigating Fairfax County school staff helping children terminate pregnancies without parental consent. There is not enough jail time. If you wonder why I believe in the eradicating of teachers' unions and the firing of teachers in general, not every teacher, there are really good teachers out there. These are not really good teachers. They're not. Oh, my parents will kill me if they find out. You have to help me. The teacher does not supplant the role of the parent. They don't. And even in horrific situations, if you will, they don't. Teachers need to know their role. But how many teachers happily do this and misdirect parents, lie to parents about pronouns, lie to parents about all sorts of things because they think that the kids belong to them. And I know that the kids don't. School administrators may have been aware of an abortion scheme, meaning it happened more than once, involving students, teachers, and school funds, including local, state, and federal tax dollars. Oh, okay, now we've got a part 2 here. So first, if it wasn't bad enough, you have children getting abortions, children getting pregnant, the what is happening there that is causing this in terms of is this about just a promotion of sex? Is this about abuse? Questions that should get answers. And that's not bad enough. The teachers helping these kids get abortions, hiding information from their parents, which I believe is a criminal act. Then you have the schools paying for it, misusing public funds. The governor, Glenn Youngkin, saying, quote, "I am directing the Virginia State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation to open a full criminal investigation into the matter immediately." 2 students at Centerville High School turned over evidence that school staff had facilitated their abortions. I'd fire everybody. Now, there's a teacher somewhere teaching English who had nothing to do with any of this. I'm not firing them. Teachers, administrators, support staff, gone. Oh, and I'm taking your pension. I don't care how you survive. It doesn't mean anything to me. The principal, the vice principal, the secretary, this one, that one, all gone. All gone. And if any union decides to engage a protest, I send in the National Guard and I push them to the outer edges of the county. Sometimes, union, you have to remember you're wrong. You're not special. You're not important. Most of you are awful. If the school is paying for abortions, well, then we have to do something to change how the school operates. This story is nuts. And it starts from the place that no one wants to start from. I'm not talking about whether or not kids have sex. This is not new. This is a conversation about what might be getting promoted. This is a conversation about, is this about abuse? Can I ask the question, do we know who is doing the impregnating? Did anybody ask that question? Were any of these children abused? Or are we not going to, we don't care about that part? Let the girls be abused. Did the boys who may have gotten the girls pregnant have any say? Did they know? Were they asked? Oh, they don't have rights. Oh, there's a lot here. There is a lot here. The president of the United States, his name is Donald Trump. You've seen pictures. He is scheduled to be speaking from the Oval, the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Act. But you know, it's just going to be a lot of conversation about a lot of stuff. Keep it here. I'm Tony Katz, and this is Tony Katz Today. Welcome back, Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. Good to be here. Good to be with you. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to fix this little problem that I have. It's nothing serious. Don't get me wrong. It's that I can't. It won't let me. I don't think I care. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'll just do it the way I need to do it, and that's it, and we'll be done. Maybe that's what we'll do. So the president hasn't started speaking yet. So when he does, I will let you know. And we'll get into that. And if you got, let's see, let me go to your comments. Someone asked a cigar question. There it is. When you relight your cigar, does it increase the strength? No. I mean, you can have maybe a moment of intensity because of heat and it can get too hot, but not really. That's not how it works. The strength is in the tobacco itself. What you're talking about with relighting is keeping the combustion going. And if that's off kilter, the cigar can get too hot. You can get kind of an ammonia taste, which is really awful. And you got to set the cigar down for like 15, 20 minutes. You got to do that and give it a chance to cool down in there. And then you're all right. So the president has not yet begun speaking, but he is scheduled to. When he does, I will bring it to you. Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. 833 got Tony. 833-468-8669. The conversation, of course, about President Trump going to Alaska tomorrow, speaking with Vladimir Putin regarding Ukraine. This has led to another refrain of this idea of Nobel Prize.
So, Philip, you have written an awful lot about what you call Trump's, quote, affection for Vladimir Putin. And we now know that there is going to be this one-on-one, just the two of them, as Peter was reporting. It's going to be only with translators. There will be no note takers in that meeting for the two of them. And the president seems to be saying all the right things to Putin at this point right now. Then you have President Zelensky and the Europeans. And what he has promised to them is that he is not going to start trying to divvy up territory in this meeting. He's only there to feel Putin out, see where things stand. What are the chances all that goes out the window and there's some divvying up that begins?
I think before we go any further, good Lord, before the meeting has taken place, how is Trump going to blank this up? That's the question. They never would once say any of that regarding Barack Obama. This is what's considered news. We haven't had the meeting. We don't know how the meeting's going to go. We don't know what's going to get said. We don't know any part of it. But it goes back to that conversation about the Europeans have these red lines and Trump has agreed to them. What is Trump agreeing to anything? He's trying to get the ceasefire. How do you get there? And we're now asking Philip Bump as our expert from the Washington Post, as if he hasn't made a number of mistakes already in his career. But to him,
high. I mean, I think the Colonel's point about how Donald Trump has made this commitment is really the key point here, right? The Donald Trump said on the campaign trail, I'll have this thing wrapped up in 24 hours. I know exactly what to do. If I had been in office, it wouldn't happen in the first place. All of it was nonsense and transparent nonsense at the time. But now he has this pressure, this self-imposed pressure to deliver this thing that is not deliverable, particularly in the way he wants to deliver it, right? We've also seen the context. I think it's really important we started with that Helsinki discussion they had, because we know what happened there. He got in the room with Putin. They were just the two of them and some translators. And he came out and he was totally cowed by what Putin had said. And he said, oh, Russia didn't have anything to do with meddling in the election, which everyone knew was nonsense. And he said it at this press conference. And between the two of them, it was very obvious that Putin had the upper hand just in that. And, you know, we've had this.
Oh, yes. Helsinki, 2018. Two things are true here. Number one, I didn't think this was Trump's best presser. Number two, this is what we're doing. The answer is go back 7 years, and this is the proof of what? This is the proof of what? What am I supposed to do? How is this a conversation? If you want to discuss what is going to happen, you can discuss, here's what Trump has said, here's what Putin has said, here's where there is some overlap. Discuss the data. Everything the left is discussing is look at what Trump's about to do without knowing anything that's going to happen. Prejudging every last bit of it. That's not really newsworthy stuff. It isn't. It is all about this idea that Trump is so easily manipulated and Putin is so smart he's going to manipulate him. And it's just madness. And it's this great disservice to an audience. But even worse, it is saying we don't have anything we can say about it, but since our job is to attack the president 24/7, 365, really attack you, let's just fill our time with this. Meanwhile, you've got Ron DeSantis letting you know that on illegal immigration, they're doing even more than Alligator Alcatraz.
So I'm here to announce today that we are authorizing and will be soon opening this new illegal immigration detention, processing, and deportation facility here in North Florida. We are calling this the Deportation Depot. It is going to be located here at Baker Correctional Institute. And again, the reason of this is not to just house people indefinitely. We want to process, stage, and then return illegal aliens to their home country.
The Deportation Depot? Is this really a thing? The Deportation Depot? Oh, come now. Come now. Is the logo going to be orange and white? Because it sounds to me like that's exactly what it's going to be. You know it. I know it. Deportation Depot. Get your stencils out, kids. I swear to you, sometimes I think we live in the darkest timeline of Abed. And sometimes they're doing this in Indiana, and they're calling it the Speedway Slammer. I own the SpeedwaySlammer.com. I'm going to need some designs. I'm going to need some designs right away. Keep it here. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today. So what? My audio got messed up? Is that what happened? That stinks. That stinks. My audio got messed up. Sorry about that. Let me get back to here. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Up is down. Left is a banana. It's all nuts. It's all nuts. It's just why Trump hasn't started speaking yet. That is beyond me. Oh, there he is.
Really doing a job. In the campaign, I made a sacred pledge to our seniors that I would always protect Social Security, and under this administration, we're keeping that promise and strengthening Social Security for generations to come. You keep hearing stories that in 6 years, 7 years, Social Security will be gone, and it will be if the Democrats ever get involved, because they don't know what they're doing. But it's going to be around a long time with us. Very much, you'll be surprised to hear some of the numbers. I'm delighted to be joined by the Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Frank Bisignano, who in the world of business, in fact, I wrote some of the little things down, that he's had an amazing, he was Chief Operating Officer of JP Morgan Chase. He worked for Jamie Dimon, and Jamie Dimon said that he was amazing. So think of that, Chief Operating Officer, JP Morgan Chase, had a storied career. Then he went to First Data. For those in the business, you'd know it's the largest payment company anywhere in the world. And worked for Henry Kravis, and it was in big trouble. He took it over as CEO. He made it incredible. They merged with Fiserv, and he became CEO of that, and that became extremely successful. I was in Milwaukee. I guess they have the Milwaukee Arena, and where we had some good success and some good speeches. But he's a really legendary guy, and he wanted to do this. I mean, he just wanted to straighten out Social Security because he loves our country. And what he's done in a few months is amazing. Almost 60 million American seniors rely on Social Security for peace of mind and a life of dignity and retirement. These Americans paid into the system, and they deserve leaders in Washington who are going to protect the benefits they've had and protect Social Security. Under Biden, Social Security went down like nobody's ever seen it, deteriorated. There's never been anything like it. The 4 years of Biden were very, very destructive. It couldn't have gone on much longer. Social Security was going to be destroyed. It was being destroyed. The average call wait time reached an all-time high of more than 42 minutes. Field office wait times were at 32 minutes, which is unheard of. And the disability claims backlog was the longest ever in recorded history. In other words, it was run just like the country was run. It was run really badly. But I'm pleased to report that under our leadership, and Frank in particular, the changes he's made and what he's done is sort of a miracle. Sort of like what happened with the country as a whole. Field office wait times are now down 30% since last year, and it looks like it's going to a total record number. And the record was set in a long time ago when the world was a lot different place. We're gonna beat that record. Call wait times are down 73% while serving twice as many customers per day. The disability claims backlog is down 26%, and seniors now have 24/7 online access to their accounts, which they never had before, whereas under Biden, the website was down 29 hours a week for maintenance purposes. It was essentially not open very much. They were always maintaining it, but they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They had a person running that had no idea what they were doing. Among my very first acts was to order all government employees to return to the office or be removed from the job, which means our Social Security offices are now open for full business hours 5 days a week. So unlike being shut down all the time, we're open. at record levels also. We're making it really great for the people that want and demand Social Security, and they paid in.
Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. The president in the Oval Office talking about Social Security, he's talking about how reducing wait times, call times, things like this, saying that again, Republicans will guarantee Social Security. They're not doing anything to destroy it. That's what he opened up with immediately. First thing, let me bring you now back to the president as he has this conversation.
We've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. These are people, many of them have already left the country, and yet we were sending them checks all the time. And 275,000, and that number is now even larger than that, frankly. It's an unbelievable job. And what that's doing is making the system strong. It's making it strong. Biden never kicked anybody off. Everybody joined. And we're carrying out historic deportations to remove many more illegals committing Social Security fraud. It's the Social Security fraud that was taking place at levels that nobody's ever seen. We cleared 12.4 million names listed in the Social Security database over 120 years of age. Think of that. So we had 12.4 million names where they were over 120 years old. Is that right? That's a hell of a statement. I have a feeling, Dan, that's not really gonna.
That was the kind of stuff that Elon Musk had found with Doge.
12.4 million names listed in the Social Security database that were over 120 years of age, meaning you were breaking records, because I've never heard of anybody at 125. There were nearly 135,000 people listed who were over 160 years old, and in some cases getting payments. So somebody's getting those payments, and we're after that. We're also fighting the menace of inflation to make life more affordable for American seniors, and we've ended Biden's inflation nightmare. So we had the worst inflation in the history of our country, and now our inflation is down to a perfect number, a beautiful number, hardly any at all. And yet our country is taking in tens of billions of dollars and trillions of dollars, actually trillions of dollars in tariffs. And you know all about it. It's been amazing. They say, why are we taking in so much money? Last week they found $29 billion and they couldn't figure out where it came from. I said, check the tariff shelf. And they said, how did you know that's where it came from? We're taking in billions and even trillions of dollars in tariffs, paid by other countries who, frankly, were taking advantage of us for many, many years. And they were doing that to us, but our people didn't know it. We didn't have smart business people. We've ended Biden's inflation nightmare and came in below expectations, and yet, again, this past month, we set records. Gasoline prices are way down, and really dramatically, as everybody knows, and energy prices have been going down, other than in certain states where you have Democrat-run states where they put windmills all over the place. Anytime you see a windmill, you'll say, well, they have bad energy costs, and it's happening in New Jersey. I saw that there's a revolution going on in New Jersey. They closed up a nuclear power plant, and they're raising electricity rates by 21, 22, and 28%, something like that. And you're going to have a new governor in New Jersey. I tell you what, you have a good man running in the Republican Party. He'll get him down. But what they've done is they've killed so many good sources of energy for very expensive windmills and lots of other things that don't work. 401ks and retirement accounts are soaring, and the stock market is setting record highs. Almost every day we're going record highs, and yet we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. So it's turned out that Trump was right and they were wrong. Few smart people knew what was going to happen. Few of us were right. So we're going to keep the fighting going.
The problem there.
Make America's seniors every single day. We're going to fight for them. We're going to make them richer, better, stronger, in so many
wait till you see the producer price index, the wholesale price index.
The one that we think
today.
about. We love it, and we love
there's a real
what's
issue.
happening with it. And
These tariffs are not. They aren't disappeared. Not everything is smooth. I disagree with them there.
It was supposed to be like down. Had they
What else is he going to say? The guy is died in the wool when it comes to
Biden
tariffs.
or
The president has not changed in decades. He's not about to change now.
Two beauties. And now what I'd like to do is ask Frank to say a few words. Again, this is a man with a really storied past. He's one of the most successful anywhere in the world. What he did at J.P. Morgan Chase and what he did for Henry Kravis and all of the others are like legendary stories. And he just wanted to do this. He's making about a tiny fraction, I would say, a tiny fraction of what you used to make. But he didn't care. He wanted to do it. He made a lot of money. And he said, I want to run that system. I want to put it back on track. And he's got an unbelievable talent over there. It's like a different place. So, Frank, would you say a few words, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Is less than 1% tiny fraction, sir?
Is that what it is? Less than one? That's a tiny
That's
fraction.
an honor. It's an honor. It is an honor. And I'd like to start off by thanking the president for his tireless effort in running the country, in what he's done across the country, meeting every commitment. And, you know, I see it directly in the big, beautiful bill, the opportunity that it's brought to seniors. But his effort on every commitment, delivering against it, and delivering on world peace tirelessly. I'd like to also thank him for my opportunity. You know, he's teasing me, I'm teasing him about the economics of the job. But the reality is to serve 300 million Americans, which is what Social Security serves, is a tremendous honor. And him putting that faith in me and building what I believe, and I think I have a right to say it, is the best leadership team ever assembled in the White House and in the cabinet. So that's my great honor. So I come here and get the opportunity to serve the American public in a manner that I never imagined in my life. And what we found was the opportunity to fix a foundation. The reality is, people talk about 72 beneficiaries. I talk about over 300 million Americans with a Social Security
touting Social Security, touting here's what we're going to do, here's how we're going to keep everybody safe, here's how we're going to keep the money flowing. That's fine, it's good. How do we pay for this in the end? We know it's not sustainable. We are aware of the fact that it's not sustainable. So what's the plan there? How do you keep this going? Is the question that he needs to be asked, and he needs to be able to answer. Whoever's running Social Security, the president's up. Like, we understand the issue. The issue is very fundamental. It's basic. We can't go on the way we're going on. Is it raising the retirement age? Is it a change in formulas, just like I think we need at the BLS? What's the answer here? Is the answer that some people don't qualify? Maybe it's you get rid of some of the other services and Social Security is the one that you're able to really beef up. Listen, I'm not a great big fan. Not a great big fan of the social safety net stuff. But it's here. I'm not the guy who's going to be able to get rid of it today. But we have to admit that it doesn't work. So how does one make it work? And that's what you have to address. Everything else is nonsense. The president's going to answer questions. You know that's coming. I'll bring it to you what I can as I can. Keep it here. This is Tony Katz today. Let's bring it back to this presser right here. Let's take a commercial break.
Know the answer
to
if we have a hole.
He's still talking,
right? I was presenting myself.
And a moment's going to come and jump to me like, okay, you're done.
$18 billion in errors
you
by
go
the
down.
Inspector General.
To
it was public.
Back in 2016.
In less than a month, we solved $9 billion of it. So that's the type of swift action we can take, right? You see the things like the big, beautiful bill for the seniors. You see better digital services. You see field office wait times down. If you make an appointment to have a field office visit, it now happens in 6 minutes. Unprecedented. We are serving more people and delivering more than was ever delivered before in a manner with the highest possible quality, and we've just begun. You should expect this to be a great digital-first agency. My commitment to make this happen is as deep as the president's commitment to make the world a great place. And you see the fabulous job happening here across America and what he's doing in the world. You should expect Social Security, just like the president. I thank him for making America great again. It's happening. Social Security will be great again. You have my commitment. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Frank. I'm going to sign the new proclamation, please.
Sir, this is a proclamation both commemorating the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Act, the signing of the Social Security Act, and also the incredible accomplishments of your administration fixing and promoting and safeguarding Social Security. And it also obviously mentions the fact that as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, a vast majority of our senior citizens are no longer paying taxes on their Social Security benefits, as you promised in your campaign and as you delivered for the American people.
That's a big factor, isn't it? Huh?
Yes, sir.
That's great. I think they're very happy about it, too. They're very happy about a lot of things. Good job, Frank.
Thank you, sir.
Signing away is the president.
Frank has brought with him some of the most talented people in business, and they were making a lot of money, but they made a lot of money. They had money they didn't have to make anymore, and they just want to do this. They want to have our country become strong and good, and that's what's happening, and we're doing that in a lot of locations, a lot of areas. You deal with some of the people that are commissioners, that are secretaries of state, of secretaries of treasury and of commerce, people that were really, really successful people, and they gave all that up to make a very small amount of money. They don't even consider it a fraction. You say 1%, less than 1%. That's pretty good. That's a big pay cut. But Frank is one of the most outstanding of all. His career has been incredible, and you just have to look at what happened at J.P. Morgan Chase and look at what happened with First Data. First Data was the biggest company of its kind in the world, but it was not going to make it. He went in, and it became a tremendous success and merged into another company, and he became the head of that company. Then he said, let me go save Social Security, because as big as that stuff is, it's small potatoes compared in terms of numbers, right? In terms of numbers, these are big numbers. Government numbers are big numbers. So I want to thank everybody for being here, but I'm really proud of you, Frank. And here's your proclamation. And
hey, Matt, how about we put an end to the income
signed
tax?
by the human hand.
And therefore we can eliminate this whole conversation.
For change. That's good, right? Do you have any questions for Frank?
For Frank.
For Frank.
Anybody's asking Frank a question. I'm not angry with the guy, I'm just saying.
This was a major campaign promise that you had. 2023 was one of the first Agenda 47s that you put out. It was titled, "We Must Protect Medicare and Social Security." Why was this important for both of you to get done, and given the fact that it'll impact millions of lives?
Well, it was very important to me because I knew how Social Security, I've been hearing about it for years, long before I came to office, that it was really going to die very shortly, and I had to put somebody outstanding in. And we were talking. I was talking to him on a business sense once, and I said, "This guy's amazing." And
come back to the
radio. I'd like
radio.
to help you with Social Security because it's sort of what he does. You know, he takes troubled entities and turns them around, and he did some of the biggest messes in the world, and Social Security in a certain way, I guess, you reported it all the time. In 4 or 5 years, it's going to go bust, but not anymore, it's not. And he's got it turned around so well. The proclamation helps. All of the things we've done help. And he's finding such tremendous fraud where we have illegal aliens. We have people that don't even exist on Social Security now. They don't exist. And what it does, it makes it totally secure and powerful for the people that are on it and need it. And we're very proud of the job he's done, one of the best.
President Trump speaking from the Oval Office about Social Security on its 90th anniversary. Speaking of the Social Security, I believe that's the administrator there, Tony Katz. Tony Katz today, but the questions are coming. Let's get to them.
Why do you think they keep pushing this misinformation and literally terrorizing the elderly in America that sadly keep watching the very misleading mainstream media?
I love your question. I should have called you almost first, but I love his questions also, always. But it's such a good question. It's so vicious what they do. Elizabeth Warren said she was an Indian. We call her Pocahontas. She's a liar. She lied her whole career. Based on the fact that she was an Indian, she was able to get into certain colleges, get certain jobs, get into certain universities to work there. She's a liar and a mean person. She's a nut job. I watched her the other night. She's all hopped up endorsing a communist in New York City. And she was all excited and jumping up and down. She's got to take a drug test. She really does. She's got to take a drug test. There's no way somebody can act that way and be normal.
Oh, my.
What she's done to our financial institutions, she destroys people. Do you know that you had a lot of great banks in the Midwest and banks that loaned to farmers and others, and they went out of business? She put them out of business. Stone cold mean. Banks that were open 150 years, family banks that supplied the farmers and manufacturers and others, and she put them out of business. She's a mean, horrible human being. Bernie Sanders is...
she is a fraud. That much is true.
He's just a liberal guy, very liberal guy. He's a wacky guy. He's still sharp. I got to tell you, you know, he's 86 or 87 or something. He's still sharp. You compare that to Joe Biden, it's, you know, sort of what happened. So I don't mind Bernie Sanders. With him, you know what you're getting. You're getting a guy, he's a nasty guy, but he's somebody that, I don't know if I call it a fastball, but he's able to throw the ball pretty well. He's okay. I watched him the other day. He was totally on the opposite side of things. I will say this, the biggest issue right now, and an issue that's really taken hold, is crime, stopping crime in the cities, and the Democrats are fighting the stopping of crime.
You knew this was coming.
So I think that's like men playing in women's sports is okay, or transgender for everybody, okay. But this is a bigger issue. This is the biggest of all issues. Crime is rampant in D.C. It's rampant in our generally blue-run cities, and they've got to do something about it, or they're never going to win another election. And instead of calling me a dictator,
you knew he was going to pivot to this. You just knew it the second he was going to say questions, right to the takeover of D.C., the crime issues, to how the progressives are responding.
Democrat friends, but they're normal people. And they were thanking me so much for what I'm doing in D.C. They feel so safe already. And you know, at the border, we had 0 people come in, and this is done by a liberal group. They're the people that do it. I have nothing to do with it. 0 people in 3 months. We had 0, 0, and 0 for 3 months. And last year we had millions of people pouring in from all countries, from jails, from drug addicts, gang members, drug dealers by the thousands and thousands. 11,888 murderers, half of whom committed more than one murder. They flowed into our country, and for the last 3 months we had none. And I didn't remember when Joe Biden used to always go, I need legislation. I had no legislation. I just said we're closing the borders, and the whole world understood it because they respect your country again. They really respect this country again. They didn't respect it. When he said it, it didn't mean anything. But now they know it meant a lot. And Mexico does what we tell them to do, and Canada does what we tell them to do, because we had the 2 borders. We have the northern border, southern border, and they were both horrible.
They're going to love hearing that.
They
do what we tell them to do. Oh, they're going to love it.
Well, what Frank has done with Social Security also is something very special. But what we're doing with crime, which will be your next question, I guess, that's because everyone's they're afraid. Half of the people here, maybe all of the people here, most of you live in D.C., you are petrified to go out. And you're liberal, and if you're liberal, you're going to have to change. You're Democrats, you're going to have to change your ways. So we will have crime under control very shortly in D.C., but they're record numbers. And sadly, what I guess the mayor did, but whoever it was, they asked the numbers to be fudged so that it would show less crime than the fact. The fact is, it's worse than it's ever been, and we will have it just like we did at the border, where the borders are totally in great shape right now, the best ever, record-setting shape. We'll have the crime situation solved in D.C. very soon. And we're also.
And this is the other side of the coin, just so we understand.
But you can't have graffiti, and you can't have roads with potholes.
If you're going to take over D.C.,
the medians, the dividers,
you're now responsible. If you don't get crime under control, you're the guy who didn't get crime under control. To make a move like this, you have to have a positive result. Otherwise, just a problem. You have a lot of problems.
Vladimir Putin access to rare minerals to incentivize him to end the war?
we're going to see what happens with our meeting. We have a big meeting. It's going to be very important for Russia, and it's going to be very important for us, and important for us only that we're going to save a lot of lives. Look, we have, we're not paying any money, as you know, to Ukraine. We're supplying equipment. We're being paid 100% plus for that equipment by NATO. And I got NATO up from 2% to 5% of GDP. They now have billions of dollars. NATO is a very rich group of countries, and we make the best military equipment anywhere in the world by far, and they're buying our equipment, and they're paying 100% for the equipment, 100%. In fact, they owe us about $2 billion now. They're going to send a check. Another one was sent recently for $1 billion. So we're not spending any money anymore. Biden gave them $350 billion, got nothing for it. And if you look, and by the way, we also signed a rare earth deal where we get, years.
And the rare earths matter, but this is just the point, Mr. President. We've got a rare earth deal. Are we going to go now protect the investment into the rare earths, which is, are we putting troops on the ground? That's, I think, a standard question that should get asked. The president also announcing that over 200,000 illegal immigrants have been kicked off the Social Security rolls, which, good. Got much more to get to, including what happened with wholesale prices. And does this put an end to the idea of cutting rates? Dr. Matt Will, economist, University of Indianapolis, joins us. Keep it here. This is Tony Katz today. Guys, I appreciate you. I love you. I got to run. I got to go. The radio show continues at WIBC.com. I'm glad you guys are here. We have got more tomorrow. Join in every Monday through Friday. Every day. Sometimes there's a weird thing going on. But Monday through Friday at noon, we're here. I'm glad you guys are here. I'll catch you tomorrow, everyone. Appreciate you like you would not believe. All right? Take care.